Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for another episode of our critical analysis Let's Play of SimCity. And we're just going to jump right in it today. We wanted to look at our health situation. So actually, if I go over here to our health data view, um, we can see, I was paying attention to these graphs here, these bar graphs in another city, and kind of watching how they work. And they work actually a lot like the garbage ones do. And garbage here, you can see these bar graphs are the amount of garbage in each of these buildings. And like over here, if you watch where these garbage trucks go, they will actually deplete the garbage out of that building and then take it to the dump. So you should see these bars dwindling down to zero as the garbage trucks visit them. And so they're basically moving a resource from one area to another area, in this case the garbage resource from the buildings to the dump. Well, the health data view looks very similar. So here's our clinic over here, and if we, let's move in a little bit closer, we can see that there's 23 Sims inpatient rooms. Oh, these are two different patient wings. So those are the people. The green is actually being treated, and the yellow-orange here is Sims that are waiting to be treated. You're in the waiting room, and then we have also, well, here, now we've got orange and pink. Now it looks like, oh, I see, orange is sick and pink is injured, but they're both waiting. So we can see that this, this clinic seems to be keeping up okay. There's not a ton of people waiting, but it does look like the patient rooms are pretty much at capacity, although this waiting room number does drop down pretty low. So rather than just looking at this number here, we can see 40 out of 40 are being treated and 10 out of 10 are waiting, which looks like we should upgrade. But if you look at how these bars change over time, that gives you maybe a different view of things. But considering these bars never drop down to zero, I think it probably would be a good idea to upgrade this. We've got a bunch of ambulances, but we do have room for another patient wing. So let's plop that down, and let's close out of there, and let's go back to our health view again. And now we should see that our, zoom out so we can see that whole graph. There we go. So we've got, now is that wing just not open yet? Is that why we're only seeing 2 bars for treating? Or is it just rolling it over to the next bar so it doesn't get too tall? That's kind of unclear there. Our treatment capacity is 55. We're heading up towards max again, but our waiting room is empty, so an empty waiting room is a good thing. And just like the garbage, you can see the ambulances are just trolling the city for buildings with the sick sim resource in it, and then they'll take the resource out of that building and take it to the clinic. So it works much the same way as the garbage system does. So we come over and look at our other clinic over here. We can see this clinic is treating far fewer people than that other clinic, despite being next to all of the high-polluting germy industry. And you can see we're at about half capacity. And that just does not make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, it does look like injured Sims are mostly in the residential area, sick Sims as well. Although the germs are over in the industrial area. So I have a theory that placing a clinic actually in the middle of the industrial area would do us a lot of good, give us the ability to treat a lot of these Sims more efficiently. But in actuality, if you look, here's a bar with a sick Sim, and there's a few over here injured. There isn't any over in the industrial area. Now we are 11:23 p.m., so it could be that all the Sims are at home, they're not at work. All these places are closed. And why are we low on power? We have coal. We're just capacity. We're over capacity. All right, let's take care of that quick. So let's see, I guess we just want to build a, let's see, advanced coal generator, power 75 megawatts. So it's the same, but it burns. Advanced coal generator, dirty coal generator, power production 75 megawatts, burns 4 tons of coal a day. This burns twice as much coal, but it's cleaner. And it's quite expensive. So we're just going to go with the regular thing here. And let's slap it up at the top there, save some space. So that should give us quite a lot of power excess now. And we should repower our city pretty quick. And these guys are probably complaining of power outages as well. No? Lots of health issues and lots of criminals. Alright, well, that is as it is, I guess. So let's check on the density of these Sims over on the edge here. They're getting pretty close to wanting to expand, and I think they do have room. So let's go ahead and upgrade that road. I have some clicking issues too. The game does not always want to click on what I'm clicking on. That could just be low system specs on my part. That's causing, lag, essentially in-game lag. Certainly I have a lot of connection issues, but that shouldn't affect clicking, I wouldn't think. I mean, this is, as far as I know, the connection issues are the server traffic is syncing cities in a region, so it's not a continuous thing. It's just kind of an update sync once in a while. And look at that, we have tons of abandoned stuff. Building fire, building fire. Let's see, oops, nope, who is it that's abandons this guy? Too much crime. Let's see, for sale. I don't know if I should leave those there or not. Building fire. Oops, it's this guy. Building fire. So we have a lot of fires. So our education clearly is not helping a whole lot yet prevent Sims from burning down their own house, but yeah, almost all of these are from fires. So let's jump back here. Let's see. It's early in the morning, so we'll have to wait to see actually how many students we're teaching. Another thing we should do is add more school bus stops, because we did add a little bit more residential. So let's zip over here and add a couple more stops every block. Make sure we hit both sides of the street. I'm not sure how much difference that makes, and I'm not sure how willing Sims are to actually cross the street. That's unclear to me. I guess maybe if we zoomed in and kind of watched what the Sims are doing, that would give us a better indication. But we are having a lot of traffic issues, which is no doubt affecting our fire coverage. So let's take a look at that. So this dead-end avenue down there has got tons of traffic. The rest of the avenue looks pretty good. Our side streets are getting a little bogged down. And I'm sure that's our layout is full of intersections. And I really just wanted to kind of get this going without spending too much time trying to find the optimal layout, because there's a lot of stuff we can discuss before we ever get to that level of detail. So, but this end here is just silly. I mean, these are just people going around in circles. I'm not sure what I should do about that. I could put right on the very edge an avenue going down. And, that is kind of a waste, because then we can't build on one side of the street. But if we try and put it out here, then we end up with a skinny zone, and that doesn't work too well, Oh no, we didn't. We just had this one trunk going through. But this does need to wrap around somewhere, actually. So, and okay, here's an issue with roads. The avenue and road thing here. So the avenues are wider than roads. And we talked about kind of the grid issues that causes. But so we could, we could connect this up. And we might have to tweak the end of that road there. But we could do it on this side. Now, why can't create valid intersection, but you can go through it for some reason? Okay, I don't know. We could do that, but then say, we want to come over this way and then turn this into an avenue. We can't, because that makes the road wider, and this is already stuck on this road. So you can't upgrade this road to an avenue without demolishing this, resizing everything. I don't know if there's really anything that could be done about that game design-wise. You might be able to come up with some kind of complicated logic to anticipate how that stuff would work, but it may not be worthwhile. So let me check the time, make sure we're not going over. We're at about 11 minutes. So what else should we do this episode? Maybe we should start putting in some mass transit, some buses. And this shuttle bus depot, I'm really not sure where this should go. Shuttle buses stop here for low and medium wealth sims. Does that mean they pick the sims up here? Or is this just where the buses start out and then they hit up all the bus stops? That's kind of what would make sense to me. But whether that's true or not, I have no idea. Our income is humongous. So let's put a shuttle bus depot right here in the middle and kind of see what effect that has. So if we go in here and edit, we can see that we only have one option here, shuttle bus lot. Expand your shuttle service. More shuttle buses means your shuttle bus system can support more passengers. Okay, makes sense. So let's just max this out, actually, because our population is, 105,000, so it's getting up there now. So we can definitely use this capacity, I think. Let's throw that down. And what else do we want to do now that we have that? The bus stops themselves. So we have got a lot of bus stops to throw down. I think what I'm going to do is go either side of the road every block going down. So this is essentially 2 blocks, so I'll do both sides of the road. And again, both sides of the road. Yep, I did that there too. Just keep alternating. Alternating sides of the road all the way down. And this is the double block, so we'll do that there. And one more double block. There's really nothing on that block though. So that was our through road. Now we'll do the same thing here. We'll skip that road in the middle. I've heard people say that Sims actually do walk a long ways, which I think is true because I've seen them doing that, like to get to the clinic. They'll walk halfway across the city, which I really don't understand why that happens either, but okay, and let's do the same thing down this side. There's not a whole lot of point to that one right now, but we'll no doubt be expanding that later. So I apologize if this is kind of boring to watch, but and this, I have seen it in some other people's cities, the buses not having the intended effect, not actually reducing congestion, but adding massively to congestion. And this seems to be, due to the huge number of buses that you can get flooding the streets, and they can really clump up traffic. Now we've got only on half the city, so I don't know if that's really going to be all that useful to these Sims yet. So let's add in a few more bus stops and we'll see where we're at. Time-wise, we're at about 15 minutes, so I'm just going to give this episode a few more minutes, and then we'll call it good, and we'll come back next time and maybe see what effect these buses have had. If it causes a problem, it should be pretty obvious from what I've seen in the past. If it's having a positive effect, it will be a little bit harder to see. There aren't really traffic congestion numbers that the game reports to, as far as I know. There's not a number of drivers, or there is a number of Sims using the bus system. There is that number, and that just seems to go up to whatever the capacity of the bus system is. But it's real difficult to tell if it's having an impact. And then we might as well go right down our trunk. And I guess I'll space these roughly the same as these other ones are. So we will want to upgrade this to a streetcar avenue at some point, I think. But we're going to have to figure out where that dead end of the avenue is going to go. And I think we should spread that out maybe to a T-shape, or actually maybe make a ring road all the way around, possibly. Okay, so we have got our bus system figured out. But that'll be for a future episode, I think. And if we watch now, we can see all these buses zooming around. There's our bus map. And they're definitely going. You can see these little bar graphs on the bus stops are growing, and the buses are picking people up. There's really no indication of where they're taking them, it looks like. We can go to the population map, and we can still see. Looks like the buses are taking workers where they want to go. And if we look at tourists, that doesn't really give us any additional information about our bus system. So let's close that data view for now, and I guess let's wrap this episode up here. It looks like maybe we can do one more thing. Yeah, let's just upgrade our high school quick before we call it a day. Our income is still really healthy, so let's throw that down. Actually, should we just put the rest down? I mean, we have lots and lots of income, so might as well, then we don't have to think about it for a while. And this is what I was telling you earlier. You can get this skyscraper high school, which is really goofy looking, but it does save space, so it's kind of interesting. And we'll think about adding that gymnasium later on, I think. But we're at 108,000 residents. It looks like we have a very healthy economy. And what was our tax rate? I don't think it was super high, so 9%. So we're doing really good, I think. Let's leave this here for now. I think next episode we'll maybe try and focus on education and get the tech level of our industry up a little bit. We're still at the very bottom tech level. And I think we're going to need probably a university or maybe a community college to get that tech level to start climbing. But in any case, let's end here. Please feel free to leave any comments, criticisms, suggestions. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about this episode and this series. And that would be really helpful to me. If you did like this video, please hit that like button and go check out the other videos on my channel. I do some other gaming related things, as well as some other subjects. So please check those out if you are interested. Subscribe to the channel. That would be really helpful. And I guess I'll just wish everybody a great day, and I'll see you next time for the next episode.